After crossing the Atlantic with our sailboat, months on land backpacking, and a long journey north along the wild coast of Brazil, we finally reach Ilha dos Lençóis, a tiny island in the middle of nowhere, just a short stop before sailing onto French Guiana. This is where we dropped anchor, in the channel between the two islands. After finally catching up on sleep, we are heading to shore for the first time. The village feels completely still. It's siesta time, and here, that lasts a while. No one's around, even the fishermen are taking a break somewhere in the shade. We are surrounded by these bright red birds everywhere. The intense color of the scarlet ibis comes from their diet. The more shrimp they eat, the redder they get. When they are born, they are actually grayish-white. It takes about 2 years for them to turn fully red. The village is small. There are a few wooden houses, a church and some fishing boats. There's no road, no car, no signal. We walk through the heat. I can feel that strangers don't come here often. The only thing here is the little fishing village up ahead. Other than that, there's nothing. No roads, no real infrastructure. It's crazy to think about, and at the same time so beautiful. So much nature and so much wildlife. So we just decided to go for a swim. We don't have our swimsuits with us, so naked it is. Technically, swimming naked in Brazil is illegal. It can even lead to a fine or, in theory, jail time. But honestly, there's no one here for miles, so we took the risk. Sometimes freedom just wins over rules.
Ja, am Schluss bist du auch gerannt. Und da ist das Paddeln. Ah, endlich. Zings. Ja, was haben wir das letzte Mal vor 10 Tagen? Wenn auch nicht Geburtstag. Dann muss ich sagen. Da muss ich nie. Ich bin schon nicht ziehen. Ja. Also wir fangen nochmal an. Wow, das ist so schön, es hat so gut getan. Und jetzt gehen wir wo? Internet suchen. Mal schauen. Ist noch etwas zu sagen? Nein. Okay, das ist gut. Dann lassen wir es bei dem.
After a week at sea, it felt good to touch land again. Swimming without clothes, without rules. It was freedom, but also a reminder. We can choose this. Most people here can't. Yesterday, a fisherman came with his son. He sold us coconuts. The next day, he came again, this time with his daughters. He left them on our boat while he went fishing. The older one was mostly curious about one thing, my phone. Instagram, selfies, the internet, that's all she wanted. She couldn't believe we had no Wi-Fi on the boat. We didn't understand much of each other, just a few words here and there. In the end, we are all relieved when her dad picked them up. They were bored of us, and honestly, we didn't know what to do with them.
How did it feel being there, living on your boat, surrounded by people who have so much less?
Honestly, I felt a little bit uncomfortable, not because they made us feel that way, but because you could definitely see how unequal the world is. We arrived with solar panels, with navigation gear, with cameras, and they almost have nothing. So it's hard not to feel like you're walking into someone's life with pockets full of privilege. And on the one side, you want to help, but you also don't want to play the hero. So there's a thin line, and I think it's very difficult to navigate.
Life here moves at its own pace. The dunes rise and fall like waves frozen in time, shaping the land. It's a quiet place with endless stretches of sand and mangroves. It feels fragile and also alive. You notice the rhythm of nature in everything. The wind, the birds, the tides. It's a place that slows you down, makes you notice the small details, and reminds you how vast and untamed the world can be. After all the sand and wind, a cold beer feels like the best thing right now.
Wir sind ein bisschen gesunken, würde ich sagen. Da, bei diesem Part. Aber ich glaube, es hätte schlimmer sein. At 10 o'clock, we were ready to go. 1 hour early, just in case anything went wrong to catch the highest tide. And we definitely needed that 1 hour because, again, the anchor wouldn't come up. The chain was completely tangled on the bottom because from shifting around in the tides. So we tried, and we were running out on time when suddenly the fisherman next to us came to help. We couldn't communicate at all, but it didn't matter because one of them already jumped into the water and tied a rope around our chain so they could pull it back with their wooden fisher boat. And it worked. So kind of them. Wow. We planned our exit very carefully with the tides, and we were following waypoints we've got from other sailors because there were no reliable charts around this area. And the depth got to 1.90 meters, so we didn't have much water left under our keel. The draft of the boat is 1 meter 65, but the built-in cage most likely measures from where it's installed and not from the waterline, so we don't know exactly how much height we have left. And then at 1.50 meters, I was panicking. Should I go a little bit more on the right or left? I didn't know. And at the end, we had 1.20, 1.20 meters underneath us. Yeah, I think it was a very close call. Anyway, the rest of the day was just battling against the wind, motoring out to the open ocean. And just by sunset, we could finally hoist the sails. Und es kommt schon wieder die nächste Regenfront. Okay. Finito!
Some places stay with you, not because of what you did there, but because they hold up a mirror, showing who you are. Ilha dos Lençóis was one of those places. We arrived curious, maybe even a little bit naive. It's easy to forget what it means to step into someone else's world, to walk through a village where life follows the tides, where simplicity isn't a choice but a reality. We come, we observe, we leave again. And sometimes that feels uncomfortable. We came as travelers, left as observers, still outsiders, but maybe a little bit more aware of what that means, and how much we still have to learn.
I was just doing everything and then it started raining. Everything is wet now. Yeah. It's like every 5 minutes. It comes from here behind me. And you don't see it coming, it just rains. Even if there is no cloud above us. It's crazy.